Has this ever happened to you? Seriously? That's it. I quit. Dang, who knew I was so angry? Honestly, this channel was so close to being named the Annoyed Artist, but today I'm in a great mood, which is probably why I was unconvincing in the intro as the Exasperated Artist. Well, that and the fact that plastic mixing palettes aren't that bad, really. It was what I used up until a couple of years ago, and I'm talking about in studio use. Obviously, if you're painting on the go, you'll likely use whatever will fit in your kit and hopefully won't break in transit. So, yeah, plastic palettes worked fine for my first couple of painting years. Another option is the enameled metal pan. I believe that's sometimes referred to as a butcher's tray. I don't have one of those, but as far as I know, it's very much like the inside of your basic hinged metal palettes, the ones that come in several sizes to fit 12, 24, and 48 half pans. They have that enameling treatment on the inside mixing wells. With its smooth surface and ease of cleanup, that's preferable over plastic. Once I had a taste of porcelain, though, there was no going back. This is my small collection of porcelain palettes. Yeah, they're a bit of a mess here, but later on you'll get to see them in all their sparkly clean glory. The purpose of this video is to hopefully convince you to use porcelain mixing palettes. If you haven't already, I encourage you to try it. Why? Because of their ultra-smooth surface, which means none of that paint beading that often comes with plastic. Beading meaning when the paint forms into small pellets rather than one pool of liquid. Also, I find the extra weight a plus, since that means it won't shift and clatter under the brushes. Speaking of brushes, hairs or bristles don't catch on porcelain, whereas they sometimes do on plastic. That's a sensory thing and definitely goes on my porcelain positives list. Here we are at the highlight of this video, where we linger on a lurid action close-up. Have we crossed a line? I feel like there should be a backstory for these two. Bruno the brush and Donna the dish celebrate a bittersweet reunion after years of separation brought about by jealousy, deception, and indanthrone blue. Since that was more than enough paint on porcelain porn, I went ahead and created a mini practice painting, using up a few of the dried leftover paint colors, both gouache and watercolor. But OMG, speaking of fictional relationship drama, I'm reminded of, this was a long time ago. Was it the 80s or the 90s? But there was an ongoing Taster's Choice series of commercials that was a multi-part romance between two neighbors. It was total soap opera stuff, because as they get closer, little secrets pop up. Such as one of them has a teenage son, and someone's ex returns. It was a hit, as far as ad campaigns go, and generated a lot of attention. It slowly fizzled out, but I wonder if something like that couldn't fly now. Perhaps with less gravitas and more levitas. On the subject of soap operas, and we're now at the tangent within a tangent stage, I spent a couple of my tween summers watching a soap or two with my mother. As the World Turns, or was it One Life to Live? I just don't even recall anymore, but I do remember feeling like soap time moved at a snail's pace. It seemed like one day in story could be dragged out to a week's worth of episodes, or longer. Sure, lying, cheating, kidnapping, amnesia, and murder all sound exciting as heck, but funneled through daytime TV limitations, such as time, budget, and talent issues, it all sort of felt flat to me. It makes sense. I mean, if you want fast-paced and glossy, then watch the highly entertaining movie The Soap Dish. It's from the early 90s, and it's about the production of a popular soap opera revolving around the interactions and personal dramas between the actors, writers, and set workers. Now that I'm way off topic, time to reel things in by forming a tenuous connection. Porcelain soap dish. Not to mention, I do use soap when cleaning my palettes. However, the only drama involving these palettes was when producer Mike accidentally dropped the flour dish in the sink, breaking off a chunk, then having to explain, "I was trying to help." So there's the dish on my soap, or vice versa. It's all good, clean fun. Pledge drive break. Do you remember those from watching public television stations? If the answer is yes, then you're old. But in my opinion, YouTube is kind of like PBS. Do you watch a lot of ArtTube? Is this sort of content valuable to you? Well, let people know by supporting this channel. I don't have a 12 DVD box set or a coffee table book to offer in return, but then I'm not asking for an endowment. Just a like would be nice. A subscribe, too, and maybe a comment, because those little things help out a lot, actually. This episode was brought to you by producer Mike, the letters A, R, and T, and viewers like you. Now, back to our program. One thing I like about these pieces is how easily they're cleaned up using just warm water and a touch of soap. The round stacking dishes do have rough, unglazed rims, though, so I did use an old toothbrush on those. The bottoms on all of these are also rough, and if you don't care for scratching sounds, you can attach a few peel and stick felt pads, like I've done on one of mine. Yeah, I ran out of peel and stick felt pads. It works great on the flower ones because those have flat areas on the bottom, but the others have a thin ridge, so there's not enough surface area for the pads to adhere to. Perhaps some glue and flocking powder instead. As for which size/shape is the most useful, I actually use the small stacking dishes for multiple purposes. There's a total of 6 pieces in that set, including the lid. At the moment, I keep colored pencil powder blender in one and treats in another, because I prefer using the other styles as mixing palettes. The flowers probably get the most use, but I also really like the big round plate, which was likely intended as a serving dish, going by the markings on the bottom, for those monochromatic sessions, or when I don't care if some of the colors flow into each other. Plus, if I ever want to have a paint and snack session, the canapes will have a handy home. I'm kidding. I don't recommend you put food on your paint palettes unless it's wrapped. I actually didn't buy that piece, the big round one. It was given to me, one of my brother's thrift shop finds, and I've heard other people say they use old plates for their palettes, even those deviled egg platters, too. So porcelain need not be a big investment at all. If you do want to purchase new, I've seen these flower dishes at local art supply stores for as low as $8. And I've included an affiliate link to a selection of porcelain paint palettes on Amazon to give you an idea of the shapes, sizes, and prices out there. I'm happy to share my arting experiences. To reiterate, if you decide to use a dinner or a serving plate for painting, don't put it back into food use. Look, I doubt it would be harmful, but why take the chance? So maybe write studio use only on the bottom, just to be safe. Until next time, remember, you can make art with mud and a stick, but who wants to look at muddy stick art? Stay artsy fartsy smartsy, my friends.